Welcome into the Hop People. Round 90 is here. Episode 90 of the podcast.
Holy shit.
We are a craft beer podcast. We're so glad you found us on this fine, thirsty Thursday. And we're wrapping up the week with a trip down to Baltimore, Maryland, once again for a visit to Union Craft Brewing.
Yes, very excited for this one. This was part of our little beer run getaway, as I'm calling it. Made a couple stops. Baltimore was one of them. We found this beer, and we found our first beer we're drinking is a little bit different style that is a widely known style that I don't think we've had yet, or we've had very little of, so we wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. Union Craft Brewery, round 90. Very excited. Thank you guys for joining us.
Man, oh man, it's been a weekend. It's been a week. We had the kickoff of the NFL season, which we're not going to talk about it too much because we did do that a lot last week. But
no, the real reason, there's another reason why you don't want to talk about it, but it's okay. We don't have to. It's fine.
It was a long weekend. It was stressful.
It was a long weekend for me as well. I was partying it up at a wedding.
It's good to feel the stress of football again, though. That's the thing. Like, it's good to feel that weight on my shoulders all day on Sunday of, like, numbers going up and down, things happening. It's great to feel my blood pressure rise like that again.
Yeah, it's really great to see Brandon Ayuk give me a solid goose egg in my other league.
A hearty goose.
It's
me too.
It's so great. I want to make an omelet with the goose egg he got me.
Yeah, I have him in another league, and we'll discuss later. But it's not a fantasy football show; it's a craft beer show. We drink beer, we have fun. That's what we do here. You can follow the show on the social media if you want to engage with us. We are at the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow our personals for more personal content. Gabe is at Gaberade67. I am at Shakesbeerist. Facebook. The show is available on YouTube. We are a video podcast. If you're up there on YouTube today, you can see this beautiful tap room of Union Craft Brewing's behind me. You can see that each and every week. So head over there if you want to see what the beer looks like, what we look like when we drink said beer, different things of that nature. Once you've done that on there, you can subscribe. You can click the bell so that you get notified whenever we have a video up, or if we post a video at weird times. You never know. Fun stuff might drop. Who knows? Could happen.
We don't even know.
We don't even know. And you can follow the show on all the major podcast platforms as well: Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon. We're up there. Just say her name and say "Play the Hop." Craft Beer Podcast.
I'll say it because I don't have one. Alexa, play the hop.
And you can send us an email if you want to engage with us that way, or make beer suggestions, brewery suggestions, requests, drink suggestions. Are you dying to hear us talk about wine, seltzer, non-alcoholic options, gluten-free options? These are things we don't normally do in our day-to-day, but we will for you. You can email us, thehopod@gmail.com.
Let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know if we should repeat any breweries. Let us know. As Steven said, we've starting to see the pumpkin beer game is in effect. We're going to have pumpkin beers, but, we're seeing, now that it's fall, we're going to start seeing a lot more ciders. I think it might be time for another cider episode. I don't know. Ciders, other things like that. Hard kombucha, maybe? I don't know. Do you want it? Do you want to see it? Let us know. We are here for you.
And we're diving into the news.
Beer news.
All right, Anheuser-Busch has released a non-alcoholic beer under the Stella Artois label. So Anheuser-Busch had non-alcoholic options before, but now you can get Stella Artois Liberté, which is a non-alcoholic version of Stella if you're a non-alcoholic beer fan. Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Seltzer is coming to the United States. I'm pumped about this.
This is the one seltzer I'm excited for.
Might be the first time I've ever been excited for a seltzer, but oh man, it's going to come here. There's like 12 different distributors they're working with, and they're bringing it to the United States. So keep an eye out for that. Seltzer straight from the man himself. And Reyes Beer Division is continuing to buy everything in California. If you aren't familiar with Reyes Beer Division, they just acquire things in California. That's what they do. They're a beer distributor, and they're acquiring a majority of classic beverages beer portfolio. Terms of the deal are still undisclosed, but it's kind of hard to be anywhere near the beer industry in California and not come across Reyes Beer Division. So
they're the big guys out there, which is pretty cool.
Let's see. Let's kick things off with North Carolina's Unknown Brewing being picked up by the CBV, which is a craft beer collective. It's Community Brewing Ventures. So basically, the company's founder, this was a few months ago, the company's founder of Unknown Brewing, his name is Brad Schell. He had originally announced that the company would basically stop brewing beer. They would focus on non-alcoholic ginger ale. Shortly thereafter, their assets and their brewing facility were picked up by Hopfly Brewing, but Hopfly Brewing was not brewing their beers. So their intellectual property has now been picked up by Community Brewing Ventures. CBV, Community Brewing Ventures, it's kind of like it's a collective craft brewing thing, right? They help small, medium-sized brands brew without the overhead, the equipment, the brewery, the space, all that stuff. You can think of the Beer Axe as an example of one that we had on our show when we did Armada Brewing. That kind of thing. So anyway, they're taking over the intellectual property from Unknown Brewing, and their brands can currently be found in a lot of the Southwest: Colorado, DC, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. So if you live in one of those states, which we don't, but if you do, you can still drink Unknown Brewing, or maybe you can drink it for the first time. So congratulations.
Moving right along in the news and notes, Omission Brewing is discontinuing most of their product line, but have no fear. They're introducing 4 new options. This is going to be really dope. You might know Omission from they are the gluten-reduced beer brand. They're out of Portland, Oregon. They were acquired by ABI last year, but they have always kept that mission of gluten-reduced, some gluten-free, but mostly gluten-reduced. They are going to continue with their Ultimate Light Golden Ale. They're going to have a reformulated version of that, which is going to be pretty cool. The entire portfolio is going to be discontinued. They're starting fresh, ripping the Band-Aid off, doing it all over again. This includes several beers and seltzers. 2 of the new beers will be fully non-alcoholic, which is something we're seeing a lot of breweries do nowadays. People either don't want it or don't need the alcohol in it. Hey, more power to you. They're catching the gluten-reduced market up to the rest of the industry. They're one of few, if not one of maybe like 2 breweries doing this. So there's not a lot of other people doing it. But yeah, they're going to have more typical gluten-reduced offerings. You can check out their website, Omission. They will be posting those things soon if they haven't already. So it's something to look forward to.
And finally, we're going to round things out with the Gabe winners. The winners have been announced by the Brewers Association. This will be fun to just kind of go through some highlights.
Cool because a lot of the winners are on the hop with Gabe and Steven. Obviously, with the more episodes we do, we're going to have more winners on because we're doing more breweries, but we're giving shout outs anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of breweries in here. If anything, reading this full list just reminded me how many breweries there are in America, and how many we have yet to drink beer from. But a lot of them have been on our show. First of all, we'll give a shout out to Allagash Brewing. Was on our show in rounds 14 and 80. They won Brewery of the Year in the less than 100,000 barrels category. And they also won 2 silver medals. So that's exciting.
Give it up. Brewery of the Year, not bad.
Parents do, correct.
No matter what category, Brewery of the Year in anything. Great.
Let's see. We had there's a bunch that I pulled just to highlight. Destil Brewing, we had them on just recently on round 86. They won the gold in the Juicy Hazy IPA category, which is one of the most popular categories with 427 entries. But they won for their Deadhead IPA Series Tour Bus Edition. They won the gold in that category.
Dude, I want to try that Deadhead series so bad. Oh,
it looks dope. They
won an award for it, so I got to get on it.
Now it's gold. Grim Artisanal Ales was in there on our show in round 24. New Belgium was in there on our show 22 and 44. the brewery, Great Divide Brewing, Avery Brewing, all different breweries that have been on our show and won beer awards this past weekend. It should be noted that the fresh hop beers portion of the Gabe.
Gabe with an F.
It's my favorite thing to say. The fresh hop portion will happen in early October because the hop harvest happens in the fall. So there is still more submissions to be judged in that category. But other than that, a full list of the winners is available. It's on greatamericanbeerfestival.com if you want to see them all.
And can we just talk about the first award given out by Figueroa? Oh boy. Figueroa Mountain Brewing Co. They won a gold, and the beer name is Meat Sweats.
I'm sorry, I need to correct this. Figueroa. As a Californian, I need to say it right. Figueroa. It should be It's Figueroa Mountain because I've been there up in the central coast of California, and I know their beers pretty well, so I was excited to see them on there.
Meat Sweats
a few times.
I want to drink that
Walker
beer.
Was up there. What I loved to see was I thought it was interesting. They have a category for non-alcoholic beers, and
see, that's...
Athletic Brewing took home the silver and the bronze. And I checked the list to be like, I mean, did they take home? No, they did not. There was another brewery that took home the gold in that category, and I'm looking for it right now so that I could tell you which one it was.
Dude, Athletic Brewing Company, they have made a name for themselves. They are here.
Absolutely.
We reported on them not too long ago, and it's. I would love to check them out, especially just because they have all the sports. Like, they got J.J. Watt back in them. Like, okay, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, they're the go-to when it comes to non-alcoholic brewing options. But that's why I was interested in this. But no, it was Two Roots Brewing Company out of San Diego, California. They won the gold in the non-alc category for their Enough Said Helles, which is a non-alcoholic Helles.
Hey, sometimes some people just like the taste of beer without the fuzzy effects, as I'm calling it.
Yeah, or there's a variety of factors. I mean, Athletic Brewing, just speaking of them, just because they came up, they just unveiled a it's called a Stork package or something. I don't know. It's some beer thing that once a month you'll get a delivery, like for basically expecting parents who like can't drink, or if you can't drink for that reason, or if you just had a kid.
Yeah, it's like Netflix, but for beer.
It's
amazing.
So some fun news from the beer world. Check out the full list, like I said, greatamericanbeerfestival.com, and look out for any of these beers from your neck of the woods, because apparently these are the best of the best for 2021.
This is our Olympics when the real Olympics are over.
All right, I propose a toast. Now, I'm going to do something just a little different, if I could just bring the mood slightly down for a second. But I felt that we should acknowledge the 20th anniversary of September 11th that happened this past weekend. 20 years is a significant anniversary of that day, and I think there were a lot of memorial ceremonies, and there's a lot happening, and people choose to acknowledge it or not acknowledge it in their way for their reasons. But I felt that it was important for us as a show to just commemorate that, this being the first episode we've had since then. Gabe and my experience with that day, living so close to Connecticut, to New York, and knowing people that commute and stuff, was sort of close to it. But it's been very interesting for me, given the age that I was when it happened, to just talk to people throughout my life on both coasts. I know people who lived in California who had no relationship with that day, and then I know people who lived, in the heart of New York and have a very specific experience that I can't relate to. So it's interesting the way people's experience, the way that day touched, certainly touched everyone in this country, still does to this. I mean, there are institutions that we still live with today that are a direct result of what happened on that Tuesday. But drinking toasts are a time to laugh or offer up intentions or anything like that, but they're also used to sort of as a memorial or a commemoration. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge it and pay our respects in whatever way that we can.
I love it. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, not to take too much time talking about it, but I was, very, very young. Don't really remember much from it, but I remember the after effects, and you said it perfectly, so I'm going to leave it at that. So take it away.
All right. So that said, with all of that in our hearts, we're heading down to Baltimore to do a little drinking. So here we go. Alrighty, so Gabe said it. This is a beer style we have yet to come across on the hop, to my knowledge, and it's the Thirst Monster Kölsch. It's a Kolsch German-style ale, clocking in at 5% ABV, I believe, or 5.4. It's been reported to... Nope, 5%.
Yeah, 5.
IBUs here are at 25. Beer Advocate has it around a 4. Untapped has it at 3.73.
The Kolsch style is fun. It's kind of familiar, but it's got a different spin on it. We'll talk about what a Kolsch is in a little bit. But first one I had was overseas, and I thought I just didn't know what was going on. I thought, oh, this is cool. So here we go.
So the malt in here, Pilsner and pale wheat. The hops are Pearl Hull Melon. It's back, or Huel Melon, or Hell Melon. We don't know how to say it, but it's back. And Sapphire hops, and the yeast is Kolsch Yeast, appropriately. Yeah, so a yeast, so a Kolsch is a German-style ale. So it's top fermented. It's similar-ish, I guess, to like the German lagers you would think of, but it's different in that it is an ale. It's top fermented. It ferments at higher temperatures than lagers do, but it ferments at colder temperatures than the Belgian and English styles. So according to the Brewers Association style guidelines, which are what we turn to in these moments, the predominant factor in a Kolsch should be bitterness, flavor-wise. You are not going to get hop flavor, and you're also not going to get malt flavor, really, and you're not going to get fruit or yeast esters or anything like that. What you're going to get is sort of a bitter factor. Apparently. So that's what we're looking for in this Thirst Monster.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I mean, right off the bat, for those of you on YouTube, you can see it. Some great lacing, head retention, very big, pillowy head, about it I would say an inch thick, and then now it's about a centimeter with pillowy white ivory foam right on top. Love to see it. And yeah, I'm really interested. It is quite see-through. It's a little tough to see. I wouldn't call it cloudy, wouldn't call it hazy, but I can see my fingers on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, mine is pretty much clear, but it's a golden yellow color on the SRM chart. I might put it around a 2 or a 3.
Yeah,
sort of a pale straw color. The nose is very earthy. A little bit of honey. Definitely some spices.
I was just about to say there's a little bit of sweetness there on the smell, which really got me interested right off the bat. I think based off of the description of what a Kolsch is, really wasn't kind of not expecting that. But then, I would say maybe honey, maybe sweet. It's hard to pinpoint this sweetness.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's I said that according to the Brewers. Maybe? According to the Brewers Association, we shouldn't be getting a lot of hop flavor, or malt flavor, but the malt is definitely present on the nose a lot. I mean, you get that cracker, you get that bread, the yeast, you get some little spices going on, maybe some coriander or clove a little bit, but it smells like, I would say, like a fest beer almost. It does smell like a German style lager to me.
It smells like we should be wearing lederhosen. Absolutely. Yeah. It smells like Oktoberfest. And I mean, what's better to get us in the mood for that? I mean, it's not happening this year. Boo, sucks. But that doesn't mean you can't celebrate in your own way at home.
Before we drink it, I'll just offer the brewery's description of it.
Oh, yeah, I love this. This is great.
It's a little quirky, bear with me, but awesome. In a world where hops have overtaken the earth and humans across the planet have been forced to drink candy-based beer by their craft beer overlords, one man, monster has set out to save the universe from the distant planet of Germania 2. The brave thirst monster has been traveling the universe in search of epic thirsts to quench. His weapon of choice? The Kolsch, a crisp, refreshing, and easy-drinking German-style ale, light on its feet with a subtly sweet crackery malts and a light sprinkling of herbal and spicy hops. It's a beer that can take on even the mightiest of thirsts. Will Thirst Monster and his Kolsch arrive in time to save Earth from its own demise, or will craft beer enslave the human race with hops and marshmallows?
Rated R starts Friday.
I hadn't read that all the way through until just now. I didn't even know it was going to be that weird.
Oh, yeah. But they're having fun. I enjoy it. I like it too.
All right. Let's do it. Let's take a sip. Here we go.
Thirst Monster is my nickname in high school.
Thirst Muncher. We've renamed the beer. Thirst Muncher. Here we go.
Steven. I propose more Kolsch beers in the near future because I've only taken one sip and it's delicious. It's very, very easy going down. It's bright. It's a little crisp, but it's more smooth. It's soft in a way, and I do get a little. I don't know what it is. It's not like fruit. It's like maybe a little like berry in there. I don't know. There's a little bit of sweetness that really is very, very pleasant.
Yeah. For me, it's got a little bit of the sweetness is more vegetal. I think I would lean towards agave rather than honey, if that makes any sense. There's a little bit of grassiness in it. What I love about it, though, is that what I was saying before, there's a distinct difference between this and a fest beer or a German lager. This is bitter, and it's not hop bitterness. It's not a piney bite. It's also not malt sweetness. It's the best way I can describe it is if you took a German style lager and then an English style bitter and they had a baby, because that's what this reminds me of. Mostly the English style bitter, that ESB style that we've had on the show once or twice. This reminds me of that because the bitterness is definitely present. It's in the mouth. It's crisp. It's dry. It's very dry. It's got a sort of light to medium body, but the spiciness, the earthiness, it's a real nice, balanced, and very different texture from a lot of the traditional styles that we have, that we've had certainly lately. You know,
I would agree with that. I think there's something very malty about it that really forms in the back end for me. I would agree with all that. However, I am still on the Oktoberfest mindset. I think it's kind of like the cousin of the Oktoberfest beer. Maybe not necessarily what you would drink at the event, but maybe something leading up to it or before or after. Maybe when you go to Oktoberfest, this is what you pregame with. I don't know.
It's that, the Oktoberfest style or the Fest beer style or the Marzen style, those lead with the malt. So you do get that sweet bread. It's definitely it's a specific sweetness that happens for me on the side of my tongue and my palate. This is... It just comes close to that, and then it backs off before it really comes through on the sweet.
Yeah, but it's so easy to drink, and there's something very pleasant about it. I don't say this often, and I think this would be a good beer with dinner. I think this wouldn't ruin your meal or vice versa. I think this is definitely an after work beer. I think it's subtle but strong, not strong, subtle but inviting at the same time. I really like it. I love the little monster guy, and maybe
what a different way to showcase hops. It's so refreshing because that bitterness is coming from the hops. That is the Huel, Hull, Hell, Melon, however you pronounce them. It's that and the Sapphire and Pearl hops, but it's so different from a Cashmere, a Mosaic, one of those that we see all the time. It's so different. A Simcoe. It's so different. It's not tropical and a Tettnang. It's not tropical or juicy at all.
Nope.
The fruit in here, if I had to pick like a fruit to go with it, it would be fresh melon, maybe some white grape, maybe some green apple. It's definitely
maybe it's green apple that I'm kind of in the vibe with right now. Maybe that's what I'm tasting because it's like sweet, but it's not like fruit. And I'm like, where's the I clearly don't eat enough apples. The doctors all hate me. All the doctors that are listening to this are going, Gabe, come on. But it's there is something very earthy and pleasant about that. I'm glad I have more.
Yep, 5%, definitely pretty solid crushable style. Perfect for your tailgates. Football's back, Pac-12 is back. Get out there and get on it.
This would be a perfect tailgate beer. And I have to say, I'm halfway through it and it's starting not that it's like watery or anything. I'm not saying that, but it's really starting to taste like water for me just because it's like so easy to drink. It's
easy to drink. Yeah, very light in the mouth. Pleasant, crisp. If all of this is titillating to you and you want to get your hands on it, you're in luck. 'Tis the season. This is one of their seasonal offerings. So if you make your way down to Baltimore right now, this is the perfect time to get your hands on a Kolsch because it's not a year-rounder. So,
and like I said, the Kolsch style I feel like is slept on. I really enjoy it. I honestly think in my entire life this is the second Kolsch I've ever had, but there's something. Maybe it's the name, just because we don't say it enough. But there's something very memorable about a Kolsch style, and it's very hard to spell.
Yeah, it's a weird category. It's kind of a hybrid category, and it's not one that you see very often. I mean, just for fun, I'm looking at the just because I still have it pulled up, the Great American Beer Festival award winners, and in all these categories, and there are tons of them. I went to K, and I don't see Kolsch. I see here's the Kolsch's. Okay, I did find them, but I mean, there's one out of Washington, there's one out of Chicago, but it's like, if you're gonna make this German style beer, I feel like a lot of breweries are like, let's just do a lager, let's just.
Yeah, I think there's something that's specific about the style that maybe they're like, well, if we're in this direction, let's just go that way, as opposed to, a Kolsch style. But Kolsch has room. Kolsch is here, just here to stay.
I like it a lot. Just for the record, the gold-winning Kolsch of the year was a beer called Kolsch by
That's boring.
Chuckanut Brewery.
Come on, Chuckanut.
Burlington, Washington.
Hey, get over here, little Chuckanut.
The bronze winner was out of Crystal Lake, Illinois. Crystal Lake Brewing's Too Much Cologne. So that's a fun name.
Oh, interesting.
All right, let's talk about this brewery a little bit.
Beer Unites.
Beer Unites and Union Craft Brewing, founded in 2011. Operations officially began in 2012. They were originally in a 20-barrel brew house. They launched with their Duckpin Pale Ale, which I believe is still in production today. I think it's still a staple for them.
It's a must get.
Well, we didn't get it. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that was their original one. They're super, once again, it's a brewery that is super local and proud to be Baltimore local. So they quickly outgrew their 20-barrel space. They moved to a larger one that they outgrew as well. So they needed a bigger space. This 140,000 square foot Sears warehouse was available, but that was too much space for them. So what did they do? They decided to team up with a bunch of other businesses and form the Union Collective.
Yeah, this is cool because it's more than just a brewery. It's their neighbors as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's this giant sort of warehouse facility. The brewery and tap room are the sort of anchors of it, and then there's a bunch of other businesses in there. There's an ice cream factory, a coffee roasters. There's a spirits company, Baltimore Spirits Company, and a climbing gym.
Earth Trek's climbing gym. I don't know if you've ever been to a climbing gym. quick tangent, very quickly. Ever since I saw the movie on Hulu, Free Solo, please watch it. It's insane. God knows I don't want to do that, but like going into a gym with cushions underneath is fun. Sounds dope, but it's a great time. And how awesome would it be to go climb for a little bit? Great workout, by the way, and then go grab a beer, grab a Kolsch.
I love climbing gyms a ridiculous amount. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid.
It's
here. So fun.
Birthday party, we're going to the rock wall, like that was my thing.
So you can do that, and then you could head down the hall to this beautiful tap room. If you're on YouTube, like I said, you can see it, but they have this nice bar that is behind me, beautiful wooden overhang,
and we unfortunately were unable to get to the brewery, but I believe we picked this up from a really nice hip local craft beer
store.
And it was like craft beer specific, which was pretty cool for us. And I think the woman who was helping us said, "Hey, here," and she like threw it at us, and we like got scared. It was great.
And she threw it at our heads. We were like, that was unnecessary, but we'll take it anyway. No, she was delightful.
We wanted half off.
But we got in a fight. The manager had to come out. It was a whole day. So Union Collective, the way they describe it, they say it's bigger than a brewery. It's a collective of 7 or 8 other Baltimore-based growing businesses. And in many ways, we are all in this together now. But it allowed them to open this bigger space. And so the doors opened on it in 2018. And this is them now. So it's a beautiful space. I wish we'd been able to get there, but it's great to see, and it's great to see them giving back to the community in the way that they do. I always love when a brewery is heavily involved in the local community, because breweries, we have that whole drink local tagline thing, and it really means something to a brewery like this. This is beer you can really only get in and around Baltimore and the Baltimore area.
I'm going to be honest, this Union Collective space looks like an airport hangar. Like, it looks massive.
It's really huge, and if you look at the pictures, like there's you can see pictures of it. You can see pictures of like events that they had pre-COVID, but where with people outside just packing the grounds, and they would do these fun events. They would bring people in to just kind of like promote the place, or have big. The word Baltimore is in like every paragraph of this article I'm reading. It's like
just
giving back is also about
know where they were.
It's about giving job to Baltimoreans. I didn't even know that's what
Baltimoreans. I don't like that.
But
we need a new name for them.
Events like this brewery quotes the night brunch at the Charmery, which is the ice cream shop. So I guess they had a brunch at night at the ice cream shop.
Hey, why not?
Did you see how I pieced that together?
I did, and I'm here for it.
But then you can have beer. But... Yeah. So it's a great space if you're.
I wanted to very quickly read this quote from the brewery that I thought was really cool. "Beer unites is not just a tagline. It's the underlying philosophy of everything we believe in as a business. Good beer brings good people together for good times and good works." Damn Skippy.
Love it. Love it. I mean...
Bang! Exclamation point!
Cheers. This is, it's a great brewery, and this beer, just to wrap it up with this one before we move on to the next one, their beer list is extensive. We'll get into that. But this is a brewery that is doing a lot of different styles. So, some breweries really focus on, okay, we're going to make an amazing IPA, or we're going to focus on lagers, or some breweries really nail it down and they do what they do really well. Other breweries have a really diverse portfolio, and this brewery is in the second category, and not only did they make a Kolsch, they made a Kolsch really well, which is hard to do. So I am super appreciative. I'm glad that we went with this style, because it's not one we normally have, and this is a textbook Kolsch, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
We need more Kolsch on the show, and I think we can compare all the Kolsches in the world. But we have one more. And here she is, the Divine IPA. She is divine in all her ways. Quote, "A perversely hoppy ale." For those of you on YouTube, this is what we got. The ABV is 6.5. There are 50 IBUs to speak of. Untapped gave it a 3.8. Beer Advocate gave it an 88. The malt used are Pilsner, 6-row, malted oats, and pale wheat and flaked oats. Hops are Mosaic and Citra. It's been a while since we've had these, so this will be fun. And the yeast is a house ale yeast from the brewery. The hops are the breakout stars in this Divine IPA. Plump, juicy, and oozing with tropical fruity charisma. Citra and Mosaic have gotten all dressed up and are ready for their close-up. I love this brewery. With an aroma that's big and bold and a body that's soft and smooth, we've crafted this defiantly hoppy IPA to be as free-spirited and full of character as Charm City itself. Reach for the stars and grab a taste of the divine. And on the SRM chart, I would say very similar, if not almost identical to the last beer we had, between like a 2, 3, and a 4-ish.
Yeah, it's slightly darker. I would probably put it at a 4. Definitely hazier. I would call this a hazy IPA for sure, this is my my skepticism around this beer. Now, you have an IPA, which you're calling perversely hoppy, and you keep referring to the hops being the stars, and this is a hoppy beer. But it's a hazy IPA. It's got flaked oats in the malt bill. It's got Mosaic and Citra. This is going to be a juicy IPA, and that is a different thing to me. When I hear hoppy IPA, I think West Coast. When I hear juicy IPA, I think New England. This is definitely stylistically a New England. We don't know what it's going to taste like, but all of the signs are pointing to juicy IPA, not hoppy IPA.
Interesting.
But it's like this weird mixed messaging thing, because like it says in the top of the corner on the can, it says juicy and round, but then down here it says a perversely hoppy ale. Now, to be fair, juiciness comes from hops, so it's not wrong. It's just that when I hear hoppy, I think bitter, I think bite, I think pine, I think resin, I think West Coast.
But to back up your claim, take a sniff and tell me that ain't a New England juicy IPA, because that's all I'm getting. So I think you may be onto something.
No, yeah, exactly. That is a New England juicy IPA. That's the
Come on,
smell.
guys.
I mean, it's like I said, it's hoppy, yes, but the nose is mango, pineapple, guava, orange, tangerine, floral. It's herbal.
Mango
hardcore. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Do I get any of the malts? A little bit. There's a lot of malt in here. Pilsner, 6-row, malted oat, pale wheat, flaked oats. I mean, there's a lot going on.
I don't even really smell it, to be honest with you. I'm just getting hoppy, fruity, New Englandy. That's just what's getting thrown at me very quickly.
I detect a little bit of creaminess on the nose. Like I can smell that. I think it's going to be a little creamy, and that's coming from the oats, I guess. But yeah, most of the nose is just it's definitely got every tropical fruit you can humanly think of. It's got a little bit of earthiness behind it, though. It's got a little spiciness. It's not just a juice bomb. It does have a little bit of bitter in the background, so it's there. But I mean, with no two ways about it, this is a New England juicy IPA. That's what this is.
Watch it taste like a West Coast. How funny would that be?
That would be impressive.
Smell so much. That honestly would be wild. That would be like a whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. So here we go. Let's do it.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Union.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a juicy IPA. It's a good juicy IPA.
But I have to say, all kidding aside, it's a juicy IPA, yes, but I'm not. It's not as New Englandy as I thought it would be. Like off the smell, you're like, name a New England craft brewery, boom, you got it. But there's something pulling me in the other direction a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it is juicy, it is very hoppy, it is a classic IPA, but there is something malty about it that kind of pulls you in another direction. Not fully, but it's pulling you in that direction.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a distinct characteristic of this, it would be that intense malt bill, which gives it a little bit more backbone for the hops to ride on. I mean, you get a distinct flavor of like grapefruit peel or orange peel or rind, which is a little bit more earthy and bitter than some tropical IPAs we've had. If there was, if there was Mosaic and Citra or Mosaic and Simcoe with sort of a less robust malt bill, it might be different. So, the oats definitely give it a creaminess. It's creamy in the mouth like I suspected.
It is, yeah, and it's also a little creamy going down, which is interesting.
I mean, I get, there's a crackery spiciness to it, which I think is maybe what you're referring to in the malt side of it.
Yeah.
And that does take the edge off the juiciness. I want to reiterate, like, not to beat this dead horse. I just want to say again, they did nothing wrong. Like, by saying hoppy ale, all these flavors are coming from the hops. So, like, the main thing in here is the hops. That's what you get. Hardcore. The malt is not the star of the show. I mean, the star of the show are the hops. It's just that the type of hops, the category of IPA that this is a juicy New England IPA. It is not a West Coast IPA. And when you use the words like perversely hoppy, I think of bite. Maybe that's a me problem. I don't know.
So, in Steven's eyes, this beer is frowned upon.
I didn't say that. I'm trying to give the West Coast IPA its due again. I want to bring it back. But
it's good style.
Yeah, I mean this is I think it's a good IPA. I think it's a well done juicy IPA. But if I said, "Oh, let me try your juicy IPA," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, yep." That would be...
Yeah, I feel like if I said I want a typical New England juicy IPA and they handed me this, there'd be a small part of me that would go, oh, okay. Just to be honest. But, I enjoy it. I'm having a good time drinking it. And should we rank these?
I feel like it may not be a point, but are we in agreement? Kolsch IPA? Because we never.
There we go. Great. Okay. Because I didn't know. I had, once you started talking about it, I had a feeling we were both on the same page. But yeah, I mean, I just think I like this Divine. I just think the Kolsch is more fun, more interesting, more sexy.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me like, Steven, this is it. This is your last beer on Earth. You get one more beer before you get taken away by aliens. What's the last beer you're going to have? You have two choices, Kolsch or Juicy IPA. I might go with the IPA. But
wow.
So I don't know. Does that mean that's the beer I prefer? I don't know. I had more fun drinking the Kolsch because it's a style we don't normally have. It's unique. There's a lot of complexity that goes into something like that. I'm impressed by it, and I think I'm really glad we had it.
I picture you in a cornfield being sucked in like Nebraska, being sucked up by the blue light with the beer in your hand, and as you're about to get into their UFO, you take that last sip, and then that's it. They fly off.
I mean, if that's, if we're ranking them that way, I would probably go with the IPA because I'd be like, I'm never gonna have an IPA again. Let me just have this juicy IPA. It's good. It's a well done IPA. It's balanced. There's nothing out of whack. It's solid. But
yeah, for sure.
The Kolsch is just better. All right. We are moving on.
Can Art and Crafts.
Let's get crafty up in this bitch. Welcome to another great edition of Can Arts and Crafts. As always, we're going to go in order. We're going to start with the Kolsch, the Thirst Monster. My nickname in high school. Not really, but could have been fun.
My God.
Bright, fuzzy letters, as I'm calling them. You've got the Thirst Monster, and it says Kolsch underneath. And on the side, I really enjoy this, has the little monster. He's got the little German hat on with the 4 mouths and the 4 beer mugs. This is fun because we have a little bit of description about the artwork from the brewery. Thirst Monster artwork is brought to you by Mark Spusta, a longtime partner with Screen and Suds. Screen and Suds is a nonprofit organization that raises money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society and other charities. The brewery partnered with this guy, and they got it together, and they got the artwork done. In honor of Screens and Suds and Mark, we will donate a portion of Thirst Monster proceeds to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Say that 10 times fast. Which is amazing. This is super dope, and I love the little monster guy. He's fuzzy monster. He's just drinking beer. Not all monsters are bad. Moving on. And then we've got the Divine. Not a lot going on artwork-wise, but there is a lot going on label and color-wise. We've got some bright purple colors. Divine IPA is written in pink letters, but there's a little bit of like a silver kind of holographic thing to the can, which kind of acts as a mirror, so that's pretty exciting and that's pretty fun. I think the Union Craft Brewery's logo, Union Craft Brewing logo, is pretty big and bold right on the can, and it looks pretty cool. So for this and for the artwork and for the fact, I don't usually do this, but screw it, it's my segment, so I'm going to say it. For the fact that they give back to the Multiple Sclerosis Society, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because it's not just about artwork. It's about the fact that they are giving back and they are donating the proceeds, and they provided this incredible story about the artiste, which I think is amazing. Good on them. Good for us. Good for everyone. Bob Ross is here. Right here. He's right here. He agrees with me. He also likes the Kolsch. Him and the Monster are going to fight later. If you want to see that fight, tune in to our YouTube page and subscribe. And that is another edition of Can Arts and Crafts.
So I mentioned that they have a lot of beers on their website, and I'm just scrolling through a good bit of them. And I had a few I wanted to bring up, but then this one caught my eye, made my mouth water. It's called the Alpha Test. It's a West Coast style double IPA. They specified that. So that one, now we're talking. I mean, the first words of the description are calling all the real hop heads. I mean, the malts in there are Maris Otter and Carrari. Never heard of them, but the hops are Amarillo, Centennial, Columbus, and Simcoe. Now we're talking at 9.2% ABV. I would love to give that a go. They have a lot of,
so many styles. I mean, golden ale, lager, IPA, pale ale, pilsner. I mean, they know what they're doing, you know, and they've got all different kinds. I'm very interested in the double duck pin, which, as you guessed, yes, is the double IPA, the spin-off of the pale ale that is their flagship. 8.5 malts are pale ale, wheat, Carahel, and Munich, and oh boy, everyone hold and wait. Hops, Cascade, Mosaic, CTZ, Amarillo, and Galaxy.
Bang! Exclamation point!
I love Galaxy hops.
I know. The White Lion changed everything for us.
Oh, they really did.
So they have their year-rounders, which the Divine is one of. They have their seasonals, which the Thirst Monster is one of. And then they have small batch, which is always where I scroll first. They have a barley wine. Yeah. Oh my God, I love a barley wine. And then they have this. I feel like, Gabe, you've asked for a barrel-aged golden ale for a while. I feel like I've heard you.
Teacher?
The Golden Teacher is a barrel-aged golden ale. It's a sour, but it's a barrel-aged golden sour ale.
You had me at the word barrel, Steven.
With peach in it. It's aged in white wine barrels. I mean, yeah, exactly. Put it in a barrel with Gabe and Steven. Welcome to it.
Exclamation point!
The yeast, lactobacillus. That's a fun Scrabble word.
That's how you sour something right there.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
So Union Craft Brewing, if you want interesting beer styles, if you want a brewery that is community-based, if you want to, drink local, especially if you're in the Baltimore or DC area, if you want a brewery that gives back to artists and to the community in general, or a brewery with a sense of humor, Union Craft Brewing is one to look for.
They have fun. They definitely have fun.
Yeah. Okay, we have to move on. I don't know how much I like this last call, but we're going to do it anyway.
Last call.
We're going to do it because it was brought up to Gabe and I separately
on two different occasions.
And we each said the same thing, which is that might be on the podcast. And then we didn't even talk to each other about it. It just made its way into the doc. And, well, we have to do it now.
Things got wild at the Miami Hurricanes college football game. And if you've been watching college football, if you've been watching ESPN, you probably know about this. And here we go. A cat fell, literally, from the upper deck of the stadium, fell down, and was caught by some attendees at the game. They used an American flag to brace the cat's fall, and it's crazy because I don't know what it is about cats must love football. We've seen this everywhere. With I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago at the New York Giants game, black cat running around, but a cat somehow made its way into the stadium. No one noticed it until it was literally dangling by a claw. It was on the upper deck. It was dangling. I'm not going to lie. Listen, the cat lives. That's why it's on the fun topic. If the cat didn't live, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, we are not making light of a cat dying in.
This is. It was scary. I'm not going to lie. The video is a little jarring, but it lives. Anyway, it's dangling from one claw, falls down. These two people, they hold an American flag. They catch it. They don't, I'm just going to be honest, they don't really catch it. It braces the fall, but it does kind of hit the deck. And then they pick it up and they have a Lion King moment where they just hold it above their head. The crowd goes nuts. And one of the funniest parts about this whole thing is the play-by-play announcer. His name is Joe Zakagaki. He's the radio station on WQAM, and he literally calls the Miami games, and he says, he caught the cat, unbelievable, and then immediately goes into, back on the field, a 20-yard rush by running back Donald Chaney. Like, he just went right into it.
It's the reason I don't like it is because of the crowd. It's like, you watch it, and the cat is like, I don't know. Maybe I was just giving a little too much empathy to this cat. I'm like, this cat is hanging from I know cats have 9 lives, but this cat is very high in the air and it's hanging by one claw. And it's just like, you can just see it. It's just like, there's no way, there's nothing. It's holding on for dear life. And it's just like, there's nothing I can do I have no way out of this. And it just loses it after a while. It's really hard to hang on a bar for a long period of time. Gabe and I learned that. And so the cat just loses it and lets it go, and the people catch it. But that's not even all right, all of that is par for the course. However, this course happened. I have a lot of questions, but the part that really bothers me is then it happens and all they want to do is grab the cat so they can hold it up and have their Simba moment. I'm like, can someone call a vet, make sure the cat's okay, take it inside, pet it a little bit, check it out, how you doing, buddy, make it feel safe? No, they just want to raise it up and get the cheers from the drunk college crowd that I don't like.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think us as animal lovers, there was a small part, if I caught the cat, I'd be like, oh my God, is it okay? And if you watch the video, it's all over Twitter, it's all over ESPN. If you watch the video, the cat, while he's having the Simba moment, the cat's freaking out. The cat's like, get the hell off of me. I just fell.
That's what I'm saying. The cat does not, it's not like the guy who caught it was the cat's owner that the cat just wanted to see.
No.
The cat just wants the fuck out of there. And these people are like, no, come here, cat. We got to hold you up so the crowd can cheer. And it's just I go to a school like this and I know what game day is like. And I don't like those people very much, if I'm being honest. It's a lot of drunk and a lot of stupid. And
I think I'm very glad that I think their intentions were good. I think they just had a moment of, because when the cat was dangling, everyone was like clearly reacting to the cat. Nobody gave a shit about the game.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the people who caught it just kind of had a moment of like, everyone's looking at me. Let me just have my little moment here. Not to shit on these people, not to throw them under the bus. I'm just going to tell you who they were. A University of Miami facilities manager. His name is Craig. Let's leave his last name out of it. Him and his wife, they bring a American flag to every game, and they say they hang it over the railing in front of their seats. They were kind of like near like a drop, where their seats were. And so they ripped it off because they saw the cat and they figured like, how the hell are we going to catch this thing? So they did catch it. Which was great.
It's better than not catching it. Yeah, that's
true.
Listen, at that point, because you watch it and the video is shot from, at least the video I saw is shot from underneath, so you kind of see the cat dangling, and you're like, can't someone on the upper deck read? But like,
that was my first thought. I was like, does no one up there see this?
Yeah, but like you have to. Then I thought about it, and also if you see it from the outside, like your arm can't you can't reach that far. Over and overhang. Yeah, it looks smaller than it is in real life. So
okay, but one of the best quotes was from the Miami coach, Manny Diaz, after the game when asked about it. Quote, "I don't know anything about that or what was going on, but I'll tell you, if the cat can help our red zone offense, I'll see if we can get it a scholarship." Y'all struggling in Miami?
Oh, shots fired. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
They did win the game, but like,
I love college because sometimes you see college scores are like there was one game that like it ended and it was like 62-0. And I don't really watch college football, but like my friend I was with was like, yeah, but that happens in college because it's a really bad. I'm like, still, like if it's 62-0, I mean, at the half, I'd be like, can we go? I mean, let's just put someone else out there or something. Like,
can we go? Or the other option is, damn, we need more beers because we're going to drink, especially if you're the team that's losing, you got to drink your way through that.
You know send the water, but listen, we don't need water anymore, man. We need you to go down the street.
Anything stronger in that belt? Hey, we don't know what they're mixing in that Gatorade cooler. That's all I'm trying to say.
Cats have 9 lives, and it was proven once again.
The cat did live. Let's
Miami,
make that clear.
The cat
lived.
is alive. We don't know how injured it is. It may or may not have hurt a paw, but it's alive. I want to know how it got into the stadium, but that's a story for another day. Union Craft Brewing, Baltimore, MD. Give them some love. Check them out. Check out this beautiful brewery. It will be worth your while. Gabe, we've done 90 episodes of this show.
That's a lot of beer, and we're not slowing down in any way, shape, or form. And we're very excited to keep bringing you guys episodes, even though we are literally, and I mean this, literally on 2 different coasts. But we're making it work. We're showing up to work. We're clocking in. We're doing the damn thing. I'm getting emotional. Let me stop. Next week, we'll have round 91. We want to thank you guys again for joining us.
And until then, drink good beer, love each other, be well. Stay classy, San Diego.
Peace out.